Shut up and sit down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the KF Podcast. This is the Future of the MCU. I want to say thank you for listening. If you just found us on YouTube, check us out at kfpodcast.com and the KF Podcast and all your other social media needs. You can also check us out on your favorite favorite podcast application. Just search for KF Podcast. We will pop up and you can see our weekly pop culture weekend reviews. So today we're going to just kind of talk about what happens to the future of the MCU. Where do we go from here?
Hot topic.
There will be spoilers to Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
Definitely. So if you don't want to listen to it because of spoilers, then...
If you haven't seen this movie by now, I don't even know why you're on YouTube.
Right. You're just asking for it.
You're just asking for it.
Yeah, asking for it.
Asking.
So
first we have the current status of the MCU post-Endgame.
Okay.
So we know that there's no Iron Man or no Captain America.
Yes.
In the future, as of right now.
As of right now.
Black Widow we know is in the past.
What the Black Widow?
Her movie's going to be in the past.
Yeah.
We assume. Justin, you agree, right?
Correct.
Prequel all the way. So, who's left as far as you would consider the leader of the next wave of Avengers?
Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Or Sam
Wilson?
Between the two of them, I think it'll probably end up being Captain Marvel.
Or do they leave her in space? Like she is in Endgame when she's handling all the outer space. She still has her duty as like...
To please that booty.
I think she might lead an A-Force team instead of an Avengers team.
Or like her Alpha Flight team where she's in space at a space station making sure all that.
Yeah, I think she'll lead a different team, maybe not the Avengers. But they might do one movie with her, heading it up, and then she'll be like, you guys got this, I gotta go back to space.
Yeah.
I kind of feel they're going to put Sam in charge of like an Earth-based team. Do you think you'll see... I mean, you have Wanda. We assume Vision's coming back. I don't think Hawkeye's going to be any more involved in Avengers movie. He's going to do his TV show and then move on, I think. I mean, Jeremy Renner is old. Like, I didn't realize that he's almost 50 years old.
That's not old.
Well, I mean, these movies, you go a few years now, age catches up quick. You know what I mean? Like, Don Cheadle's 54 years old. Like,
Michael Douglas was like 20 years old in this movie.
I know. We need to do a lot of action stuff, you know. Do you think Hulk's still around?
I would hope so. I think Smart Hulk was great. I would like to see just a Smart Hulk movie, or how he was more of a side character in Thor. I'd like him to be a part of like Doctor Strange, or tie him into another movie universe. Because,
well, and they kind of set that up because he knows about the Mystic stuff. I mean, obviously he knows about the Mystic because of Doctor Strange, but I mean, he's the one that got the Time Stone from the Ancient One.
Yeah.
I think Hulk's better as like the sidekick. I think every Hulk-led movie has been dumb.
Yeah.
Because after you go past the I'm angry, there's I'm fighting with the government, what else do you do with Hulk?
Right.
He fought Leader and did different things like that. You could always do Red Hulk, which I thought was an interesting storyline.
They've introduced both those characters in their human form, Leader and Red Hulk.
Yeah.
So you have Wanda, you have Vision, probably will come back. I think War Machine will stick around. I think he'll be a character.
Yeah, you can see him.
There's a good possibility that War Machine could lead a team as more like a...
West Coast.
Like an administrator, not necessarily going out on all the missions, but kind of doing what Black Widow did in the beginning of Endgame, where she was just directing people on other missions.
So I could see that, but I can also see that he's never been one for a bigger picture. He's always been the soldier, I think, in his kind of storyline, where he's always been like, not on the front lines.
Follows orders
well.
Yeah.
So I think that I could see him being more one to take orders.
He got court-martialed, though, in Infinity War.
He did.
In which timeline?
Is that all forgiven now? Or?
It should be.
Are they going to still stick with the Sokovia Accords and all that nonsense after all this? Is there any other women that we missed? You know, Avengers?
Wasp.
And Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I think they're involved.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, I think, will show up for advice type stuff. He's not always a full-time Avenger.
No.
Spider-Man?
I don't think he's gonna. I think you now see Peter leave the tech kind of stuff behind because he doesn't really know how to work on it. It was all given to him from Tony, and now that Tony's deceased,
He could get it from S.H.I.E.L.D. and Nick Fury and all that stuff.
Or he could just go back to a regular uniform.
Because it seems like that's what they're going to do in this Far From Home. He's using Nick Fury stuff.
Yeah.
Stealth suits and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know. Unless that deal with Sony goes bye-bye, and you know what, this is it for Spider-Man after Endgame.
Isn't this it?
This is it movie-wise. This is his fifth movie. So...
I hope not. I hope they keep him in the Marvel Universe.
I mean, if you're Sony, I think you would be smart enough.
Everyone else does all the work for you. You get the money for it.
Yeah.
But I don't
so
know
you
why
can
they
make a
would.
Morpheus movie.
He was just in a movie that made...
Morpheus.
You gotta get a Morpheus. He was just in a movie that made over $1 billion on its opening weekend.
Yeah, and I'm sure Sony's going to get a big chunk of that.
Yeah.
Not a big chunk,
But a chunk.
A chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of you try to make your own Spider-Man movie that no one will go see. Because people will be like, what, another fucking Spider-Man movie? Yeah, I mean, come on. So, moving forward, it looks like one of the future of the MCU is going to be this Hulu stuff that they're going with. They're building stuff on Hulu, they're building stuff on Disney+.
And they've already confirmed that it is in the MCU.
Yeah. So... Yeah, well, yeah,
The
which
main
timeline?
one, the real one.
So, I honestly think that Falcon Winter Soldier show is going to be about the evolution of Sam becoming a Captain America with Bucky helping him. I think that's what that show's about.
Because they can't write either one of them out of the main story.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
I think it's going to be him, like, I don't deserve this shield. I don't know what to be, and then eventually because the show's called Falcon and the Winter Soldier, not Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Right.
So I think by the end of it, I think that's what that series is about. 6 to 8 episodes, and then he's Captain America at the end of it. Whether he gets his own movie, I don't know. Because Anthony Mackie's another one that's 45 or something like. I mean, he's not a youngin' either. So, he's older than Chris Evans.
Is he?
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
Yeah, me too.
You know, another one that shocked me was Black Panther.
It's 62.
Like, how old do you think that guy is?
I don't know, 30.
He's 41. I'm like, I don't see
What
that
an old F.
in him. Like, I thought they would have cast a younger guy to be Panther for a while, But, they look good.
Yeah.
They look better than me, so I can't really say anything. But that show, I think I don't know what WandaVision's going to be about, but...
I don't know either. Does she, because before she went crazy and No More Mutants in the comic books, she basically brought back, created her kids.
Yeah. I think that's what that show's going to be about.
I think she's going to will into existence because of her sorrow of missing Vision.
Yeah.
She might be the one that creates life again with it.
Maybe she
I
brings
think so.
Vision, like a world where he's alive and they have these kids that she makes up.
Yeah.
And then they just they just teenage them in a few years.
Yeah.
And then you get Speed and, Wiccan?
Yeah.
Are her kids.
Which should be,
Definitely set up a lot of other stuff involving those characters.
Oh, they're so leaning towards the new Young Avengers.
Yeah, because Hawkeye shows him training Kate Bishop.
No, is he training Kate Bishop or his daughter?
He's training Kate Bishop.
So
It's confirmed in the description that he's his protege, Kate Bishop.
So his daughter dies.
Or she just doesn't want to do it.
Or he doesn't want her to do it.
Yeah.
Which is weird because he called her Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's the only time anyone's been called Hawkeye in the MCU.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. They've never actually called him Hawkeye, have they? But
The closest they got to it was in Thor when Eric Selvig called him Hawk.
He said, "Oh, the Hawk's up in his perch."
the only thing I can think of is they filmed Endgame last year, and that was originally maybe like they were just doing his daughter. Now they're doing this show. They came out with and they're like, we're gonna do Kate Bishop.
I wouldn't be surprised if something happens and his family gets killed again. So he starts because that's a whole different lifestyle that Hawkeye in that comic lives. He doesn't have a family.
Yeah.
He's blind in parts of that book.
Yeah.
Or deaf, because he's deaf. He's not blind in that. In that Jeff Lemire series, Hawkeye becomes deaf somehow.
Okay.
And
I don't remember it.
Yeah, I didn't really read too much of it.
Do you think somehow they introduce what's the young African American kid that becomes like
Patriot?
Patriot, is that his name?
Yeah, I forget what his real name is.
Elijah Bradley.
Yeah, because
From Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah.
Because his grandfather or great grandfather was the first super soldier during the Civil War.
He got he didn't actually. He said he got a blood transfusion from him to get him his powers, but he was actually taking MGH.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was taking a drug.
But then he almost got killed, and then he actually got the blood transfusion, and it transferred the powers.
Yeah, complicated.
Yeah.
I like Patriot though. Maybe they'll introduce him.
Well, they're using him for that new Marvel show. That's an animated show.
Cartoon show.
Yeah.
The one with Captain
Squirrel
Marvel,
Girl.
Squirrel Girl, and all that. Yeah.
It's got Kamala Kwan.
Yeah. That's like the next wave Marvel show they call her, or something like that. But now, Young Avengers would be a cool movie. I'd go see that.
They got a lot of them already set up. You can have the kid, the Iron Man kid, be Iron Lad, and you don't have to get into the whole Kang thing.
Yeah, if it's another version of Franklin Richards.
He's an easy layup for Iron Lad. Easy.
Yeah.
You don't have to, because Iron Lad's really confusing.
He is.
Yeah.
I don't even know for sure how he came to be.
Yeah, I mean,
he
he's
becomes
young
Vision.
Kang. Yeah, it turns into a Vision. It's the most convoluted character. You don't want to get into that in a TV show. Or
Nope,
movie.
just not even because it doesn't have any master discernment.
This kid's gonna find some Iron Man tech,
He's not gonna find it. He's gonna have it from whenever Tony hung out with him in
or gives it to
Tennessee
him.
or wherever he
Yeah.
lived.
Or you don't think they do Tony's daughter and do like an Ironheart?
She's
type?
too young.
She's only
She'll
5.
come later on.
Yeah.
Like, she's a toddler now.
5, yeah. 5 or 4, something like that.
At the oldest 5.
At the youngest 4.
Yeah. So, you have Iron Lad, you have him, you could do her kids.
Stature's already been introduced.
Yep, and she
That's
is
right.
aged.
Yeah.
Well, and aged the right way.
Yeah.
Which I was always wondering how they were going to do that, and then I'm like, oh, that makes sense. She was not snapped and aged 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's easy. That's an easy one there. But yeah.
And then Hulkling is just a random Skrull. So they've already introduced Skrulls.
Yeah.
Is that all he is just a Skrull?
Mm-hmm.
He's a Skrull that always liked the Earth superhero, so that's why I took Hulkling. Because he could just morph into, like, super strong.
He seems he has, like, more powers than a regular Skrull. So he does, like, dragon wings once in a while.
He's more like a super Skrull. Because they kind of make it seem like the more talented Skrulls can turn into more stuff.
Yeah. Because he shape-shifts like crazy.
Yeah.
On.
Well, wasn't he supposed to be a double agent during the Secret Invasion, but he befriended everybody?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
He fell in love, actually.
Yeah, with Wiccan.
With Wiccan.
Which would be perfect. That's characters that are written as,
That are already gay. You want openly gay characters? There you go. Hulkling and Wiccan.
You've also got the little girl from Captain Marvel who would be grown up, probably a little bit older. She could possibly lead a team.
Yeah.
She could be Photon, and I feel like that girl's going to get the quantum bands from Quasar. They're going to merge Quasar.
She would be a lot older though now. She would be way older than Young Avengers.
Yeah.
She's like in her 30s.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she was, about 10 in 95?
She's like 10. So yeah, she's not really Young Avenger teenage material. She's
just Avengers age.
Call her Photon or Quasar.
Photon, give her the quantum bands. Because it's going to be tough to explain how she gets her power.
Yeah. Alright, so future movies that we know of already is you have Eternals with Angelina Jolie and Hercules is in that movie. And
I honestly don't know how you write that story. Who do they fight?
I don't even know what it's really
I don't know
about.
anything about them. The only Eternal I know about is Cersei.
Cersei, because she was with the Avengers for a while.
Well, who was the other one?
Icarus.
Icarus is the main guy.
Yeah.
But I never read anything with him in it.
I don't really understand
familiar
why
with him.
Hercules is with them, because they've dealt with the Olympians before or something like that.
Well, if it's Icarus, is it Icarus from... There's the Icarus that flew too close to... There's some story about Icarus.
Are you thinking of Kid Icarus in the Nintendo game?
The same again. Is he getting a movie too, like Sonic? Then you have Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which will probably have Thor in it now.
Good.
I think you're going to get, like we talked about before, Adam Warlock, Soul Universe.
I really think that Guardians 3 fixes Gamora and Black Widow's being in the Soul Stone.
Brings him back.
Yeah.
Which would be good. She could come back in time for a female Avengers movie.
Yep.
Definitely a Panther 2, which I don't know what you make that about.
Maybe M'Baku finally turns bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That could also be one to show what's happening on Earth after 5 years later.
I could see him fighting Claw, like actually.
there's a rumor that they set up Namor when they were when Black Widow was talking to Okoye, and
I did see that.
they talked about the unknown earthquakes that took place off the shore. And Okoye doesn't want to deal with it, so that was kind of a subtle Easter egg for Namor. So maybe he goes up against Namor
if they get the rights to Namor, which I don't think they have.
Apparently, from what I read, the rights to Namor are very similar to Hulk. He can be in like an ensemble movie, but they can't distribute him as a solo film.
So he could be the villain in a Panther 2.
Yeah.
The Atlanteans attacking the Wakandans and do that whole thing.
That would be really good.
Yeah. I think Doctor Strange 2 is all Baron Mordo getting his revenge, fighting him.
Yeah.
And, you could do... Maybe introduce Mephisto and different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have them interact trying to fix these timeline issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be like Time Cop.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel 2 could be more Kree Skull type stuff, outer space shit. I mean, there's a lot of things.
You can go a million different ways with that.
Yeah, and then Shang-Chi is a known one coming out, which I don't know where Shang-Chi fits into this weird Marvel.
I could see it being another like decade one, like a 90s or 80s even.
When karate was cool.
Yeah, 70s maybe.
Should do it it should not be present day. It should be past.
Have them in the past?
Yes.
But I think they want like a strong Asian character to be in like the regular lineup. He's an Avenger,
That's fine.
Do you know that they gave him a new power?
What's his power now?
Have you heard about his power? He can make duplicates of himself like multiple men now. They just added, it was recently in the past.
That's probably just for the movie then.
Yeah, he can make duplicates of himself and make a whole bunch of himself like multiple men. He's basically Jamie Madrox, but he's Bruce Lee and Jamie Madrox now in one person.
What the F?
Yeah. So that's the cool power they're gonna have him do in the movie, where he can make a whole bunch of himself.
That's
because
dumb.
he has no. It's just a Bruce Lee story. There's no real like anything cool here that happens with Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a Marvel MCU type movie, but now that he can duplicate himself, he has a power.
I hope that's not why they did that, but I bet you it is.
I bet you it is too.
Could be. It was recent. Just a bunch of. Just makes dupes.
The Madrox dupes were cool.
Yeah, his dupes are great. You know.
Shang-Chi better have sex with a woman, have her pregnant, and then when they give birth, he touches the baby and it absorbs back up.
Oh, what a great storyline that was.
That was awesome.
Speaking of Jamie Madrox, real quick, in a recent issue of Uncanny X-Men, Wolverine walks by when they're hanging out in this room, and there's like 6 of his dupes playing strip poker. And like half of them have their shirts off, one's in his underwear, and Wolverine goes, I don't even want to know what's going on over here. Just keeps walking. That's why Multiple Man's better than Shang-Chi.
Which just, you have it. Like, if you want to do that movie, do a multiple man movie.
Right. Yeah. There's so much history there. Like,
well, they were supposed to do a multiple man movie.
They were.
Remember, it was going to be James Franco.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
it was so great, that one storyline where he had to go back and absorb all the dupes, and like some of them had families and stuff.
One was a priest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jamie Madrox is a great character. Shang-Chi is boring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It's very one-dimensional.
And
he's going to fight Fu Manchu.
I get the, like, if you want to have a strong Asian character, okay. You want to use that because you want to do a kung fu movie, I get it. He's a pretty bland character, so they have to do a lot. But why? I don't know. It's just.
Use Sunfire now.
Yeah.
Or have him show up in the Marvel Universe already. Like, have him be a part of one of these shows. Be like, oh shit, Shang-Chi just showed up in it.
Yeah.
And then, like, offshoot it there to get people. Because, you know.
He could show up in, like, the Winter Soldier Falcon show.
Yeah.
Where they go to, like, Japan for something, and he's there and he fights them.
Or if they
and then
want
he
to call it
helps them.
Japan, they want to use, what's that place? Madripoor.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we gotta go to Madripoor. And then, like, Shang-Chi's there.
And he, like, kicks their ass, and they're like,
Yeah.
who's this guy? You know, with his nunchucks that light up sometimes. And he's done that before. He was a secret Avenger
He was.
for a little while.
I hope whoever runs into him, like, are you Iron Fist?
You know what the Secret Avengers whole thing was, though?
What?
They were people that nobody really thought about, and that's why they were the Secret Avengers. Like,
Yeah.
nobody thought, oh, what's Shang-Chi up to? I bet he's a Secret Avenger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was the whole point.
Nova.
They were a bunch of unknowns.
Yeah.
Beast.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. So then we have the Black Widow movie, but that looks like that's going to be a prequel.
I hope.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I feel like if it's going to take place in the 90s or early 2000s, then it should be filmed like one of those movies. You know what I mean? Meaning that she wears a lot of low-cut boob shirts. things that like aren't that are PC now. Then if that's the era it's in, then like the girls are out. She's half naked in the movie. You'd be like, this is you want to make a movie that takes place in the early 2000s, late 90s? This is what it would have looked like.
It's not like they're gonna make Bikini Car Wash Company with Black Widow.
Because that's what it would look like if it was filmed back in that day. You would have had Pam Anderson playing her.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. All right, so other than those movies, what are some of the movies we think? Because there's supposedly supposed to be an announcement after Spider-Man of some future stuff. What do you think? Some of the ones that maybe are going to be a surprise?
I think we already talked about a couple of them.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see A-Force, Young Avengers, probably another Ant-Man movie.
Definitely gonna see another Ant-Man, another Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you can make it another Ant-Man movie. The second one was so boring. Where else do you go with it? I mean, Ant-Man I watched was terrible. I don't know what else you can do.
I don't know. I don't think it was that bad.
It was bad.
It was a bad villain, but overall I enjoyed the movie. But
It's
the
another
villain,
one
they
of
need
those
to do
villains.
something
I don't
better.
know what else you do
It
with
set
it.
up the whole Endgame movie.
Yeah.
It was really the only purpose was his end scene of him going into there. You think we'll see more Avenger movies? Like,
Not in the way that we've known Avenger movies.
Not for a while.
not for a while? You don't even think they'll do one with the new ensemble fighting someone or to go forward with that? Or do you think, like we talked about, maybe they start introducing Fantastic Four movies and, like, those are the big... Or they do, like, Marvel Universe presents, you know?
I would love a Marvel Universe presents. Stay away from Avengers because they're not the Avengers.
Yeah, and it's like every hero together.
Yeah.
Marvel Universe presents
Secret Wars.
Secret Wars.
Yeah, they could do all these ridiculous events that they do in the comics.
Yeah.
Just do them on film.
Yeah.
Now that they have all their cards.
How about the X-Men? You think they'll be in their own universe, or do you think they're eventually going to start introducing them and have them involved? I think they'll primarily be on their own, but I think you'll get crossovers with Wolverine and other people like that.
If they are going to do X-Men, I think that's going to be the next big build. Something's going to happen to ignite the mutant gene, and because it wouldn't make sense if they're just here all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to have to be some kind of event to start that.
To either bring them out of hiding or something.
The only thing that I think is weird now, again, is timelines. I mean, Captain America's gone, Tony's gone. You know, Wolverine, he can still be there, but some of these other characters, I don't know. It's just it would be characters that really didn't interact before because of timelines. Time periods, not timelines, but like where they are in history. Like Cap and Wolverine would have made sense, but Cap's gone now.
But
so.
you know what I think? I think Wolverine will get a solo movie eventually in the MCU. I think because people like Wolverine, and they kind of ruined a lot of his other movies. I mean, he never really had a good movie where he was just Wolverine as a hero or whatever. They were all odd.
He could have been in hiding for the last 20 years.
I guarantee, because they let on a little bit that they said like Chris Evans might not ever truly be done as Captain America. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Wolverine movie and a flashback scene where he's in World War II and he's fighting alongside Cap and there's a Chris Evans scene. You know, they're just in like a battle together. Hey, who are you, soldier? I'm James Howlett or whatever. You know, he doesn't have mutant powers yet.
Well, we wouldn't show him. You know what I mean? He never had the claws come out.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised by that. I think Wolverine will get his own movie eventually. I think that's a character they're happy to have their hands on. He's popular. You can make him popular again. And people like him. That's a hot selling toy, selling Wolverine claws and all that stuff.
They don't give a shit about the toy line.
Well, I mean, he's a highly merchable, I can't think of the word here.
Merchandisable.
Marketable, thank you, person. You know. And then he can be in his own movie. I think out of solo X-Men, Wolverine gets a solo film. I'm not sure about any of the others getting solo films.
No.
I kind of hope they mix Storm in with Black Panther.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
By Black Panther 3, there's a storyline where she's helping them, and they're like, because I mean, his girlfriend from the movie was forgettable to me.
Yeah.
Well,
she didn't even appear in Infinity War or Endgame.
Yeah, that's not anything to me. I think you got to really worry about. But
what?
His girlfriend, you know, those off helping people.
Yeah.
I think being with a Storm would be a lot better.
Yeah, agreed.
Justin, agree or disagree?
No, I agree. I think that would be a cool thing to include.
All right. So let me ask,
classic comics and
Yeah.
bring it into the modern
She was
movies.
cool. She was good when she was a goddess and a queen and all that. And
They were on the Fantastic Four too.
yeah. Yeah. How long do you think before we get Fantastic Four? 5 years, like they said, or 4?
I think you're going to find out this 5 years, quote unquote, was the 5 years that they were in the Infinity in Endgame. Oh, 5 years. Well, it's 5 years in the storyline, but it's
Yeah.
not 5 years in real life.
Interesting. It'll be.
It's an interesting thought.
It'll be interesting to see, because apparently there's going to be an announcement after Spider-Man's over. What convention happens there? San Diego Comic-Con?
They don't do any of this shit anywhere except for that D12 summit.
So
D23.
D12
was a failed.
yeah, when is D23 happen?
It's sometime in the summer. I think it's August.
So that could be where you see, because you remember when like Avengers ended, and like we had Iron Man 3 and you didn't know what was going on, and then they did that announcement. And
Yeah.
we saw Captain America: The Winter Soldier,
Yeah.
Thor: The Dark World. We were like, Avengers: Age of Ultron. We were like, oh wow, we saw all those titles. I think you're going to see something of that nature.
I wouldn't be surprised at the end of Far From Home, he comes back, he goes, what's that building? And it's them turning the Avengers Tower into the Baxter Building.
You can very easily explain the Fantastic Four too in this timeline.
Yeah.
Somebody like Reed Richards is trying to help with whatever happened with the snap and all that, and this accident happened and gave these 4 people powers.
Yeah.
It's done.
And I think we've talked about this before, but I don't want to see an origin with him. It's been done before.
yeah.
I think they should have got, like, right around the time of the snap when he was trying to fix it, they disappeared.
Uh-huh.
And then, you know, the snap is over and it's a year past, and they come out of the negative zone, or what is it?
No, the negative zone.
And they come out of there, and they've been there for that long, and they're like, holy shit, Reed Richards. Like Doctor Strange knows him, or Bruce Banner knows him. Be like, Reed vanished. We thought maybe you died in the snap, or whatever, you know.
And I'm fine with them not knowing that they have powers, but like, yeah, it'd be nice if like Bruce, it was like, oh yeah, Reed Richards, I know him, we went to school together, or something like that.
And they all know him, and they're like, we don't know what happened to you, and then they come out and they have powers. And they've been there for a while.
Yeah, you can even say the negative zone gave them powers somehow.
Yeah.
They escaped there and avoided.
Well, if they were trying to help something, they could have went into it, and during that, or even they could even tie in the quantum zone to it.
When
Yeah.
a snap happened while they were in transit or something like
Yeah.
that. And there's so many ways they could do it where they don't have to do a big origin story.
They're needed. I feel they're very needed for the next phase of the MCU.
My main reason for that is because I want them to be treated right in the comics again.
They need it.
Because they were the first Marvel comic and they've been treated like absolute garbage.
Yep.
Their comic is good again. They're back again.
Mhm.
I mean, they're here and they're good. It's entertaining. I mean, they're fighting Doom already and all that. It's a very small corner of the world. It's just their book.
They don't really cross over with
They haven't
anything.
mixed them in with any of the other stuff. They're not involved in this War of the Realms or any of the other stuff. They've really had no interaction with the rest of the Marvel Universe either.
Right.
I mean, they were in that one book with them, but like, yeah, they need to be
Front and center.
Front and center again. Reed does too, because Reed's great. When they said they needed a big brain in the Avengers movie, it's like, how great would it have been if they were like, and they're in the Baxter Building, they're talking to Reed. They're like, oh, you're a big brain. Like, that's a big brain you go to. He would have figured that shit out in no time.
Right.
Oops, sorry.
So my final question I have on here, do you think we'll get to a point where this will end and it'll ever be rebooted?
I hope not.
Do you think this goes more phases? Like, you know, you have X-Men, Fantastic Four, and all this stuff. Or do you think they'll reach a point where, like, it's been 20 years, it's been 30 years, let's start it all over again?
I hope not, because they've done a good job of creating legacy characters for everybody. Everybody has someone they can pass the mantle to.
In opposed to Marvel Comics, I always thought the big difference between Marvel Comics and DC Comics was DC had lineage characters, people that they've been building up. And I feel like Marvel, the MCU, has done a better job than the Marvel Comics about
Definitely.
lineage characters. So that these guys can go and they have other people to replace them.
Okay.
Now, who's not to say that something happens and then they decide to recast someone? I can see that happening before them just totally rebooting.
Okay.
Because you can always have Miles take over for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You can. All of them are there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, everybody has someone they can pass the torch to.
Yeah.
Because look at, just in the comics, Spider-Man debuted in 1963 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
He's 27 years old in the comics. He debuted at 15, he's now 27.
Yeah.
But you see how it is in the books. They've replaced Captain America and Thor and everybody multiple times.
When they
Yeah.
always come
And then
back.
they always come back because the books start to decline and people are like, what am I even reading here anymore? And then it's the original Avengers are back, the original X-Men are
Yeah.
back. Peter Parker's back, because then people get excited about it again because they're like, that's what I want to read, that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
And in 70 years of Spider-Man, they've tried to replace Peter Parker a couple different times.
That's a different company, though. Like, that's Sony trying to do that. Like, I feel like now that Marvel's...
Well, I mean, in Marvel Comics books.
Yeah.
Like, the X-Men have been, or the Avengers have been around since what?
67.
Captain America's been around since the 40s.
Yeah.
They've had other people take the mantle of Captain America before, trying to, like, put that character on a shelf, and then he comes back.
It's a different medium, though.
Yeah.
I think more people will be annoyed by a reboot than excited for it.
Yeah. I mean, look how many people
I
are
think it'll
going-
be. I don't think we'll see a reboot of this in our lifetime.
It's too big.
Yeah, it made so much money.
I don't know. I mean, there's all, people get older, things change.
I can see recasting, not rebooting.
Right?
I almost feel like the way they've set things up is they're trying to avoid a reboot. Is what I feel from the way they've put all the pieces on.
Well, I mean, they have enough stuff to keep going for a while.
Yeah, they got a whole library of
Especially
stuff.
with the Fox stuff now. You have a whole library of stuff you haven't touched in yet.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you want to get into Avengers vs. X-Men and do things of that nature, and
Yeah, you're gonna have to have a good lineup for both teams for that to be interesting.
you're gonna need some heavy hitters back, Which I think Hemsworth will stick around his store for as long as he can,
Wow, the other thing that they could do that we really haven't thought about is they could just move on. And, maybe not Phase 4, but maybe Phase 5 is, there's no mention of Avengers, but it's all, like, Fantastic Four stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then they move into X-Men, and we don't have any, like, traditional MCU characters as we know them today, and it's just all X-Men stuff.
I mean, let's face it, with the X-Men properties alone, they could do 10 years of movies.
Oh yeah, there's so much.
You could build up the same way you did with Thanos for Apocalypse. Fight Sinister, fight Magneto, fight the Horsemen, all until Apocalypse is ruling the world.
And whenever they do all that, they can go into space.
And you're gathering the 12 to take down Apocalypse, and there's so much you can do there too. Maybe people don't think he's as cool as Thanos. I do, but
Apocalypse isn't as cool as Thanos.
Yeah, I think Apocalypse is pretty damn cool. But
Magneto, I think, is as cool as Thanos.
Apocalypse is scary. But anyway,
He just makes big hands.
he's scary.
Sounds-
If you want to pick a format for how you do Apocalypse, you follow
The Fox animated movies?
X-Men Evolution. X-Men Evolution did Apocalypse better than anywhere else. And in the X-Men animated cartoon, they did Apocalypse. He was just there. But in Evolution, they did 4 seasons of building up to him. Where, like, he was manipulating people, he was manipulating all these different other ones, so he was finally awoken, and it was like a whole season of fighting him. Like, that's how you do it. Right there. Done. Alright.
We also are forgetting another major villain, the coming of Galactus would be very... But that would feel a lot like Thanos to me, though.
Well, he's a little different.
He is.
He wants to eat the entire planet and destroy it. He don't really want to split things. There's no stones that need to gather.
Yeah,
he's just
going to show up.
He's going to show up and be mega.
Yeah.
I mean, he would look cool. If you did him right, he's as tall as a building. I mean, that's a cool scene.
Brings that big drill down and just...
Bring that big drill. It has heralds that get to fight. And Kumar's. You fight both of them. That'd be great.
Well, I mean, that, they're... With the Eternals movie and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 being cosmic, Captain Marvel 2 could take place all in outer space. They could push this towards a Galactus coming.
Yeah. They screwed him up in all those other movies. He was a cloud, and he was all of a sudden he was horrible. So he needs a redemption, as that's a cool looking character.
Oh yeah.
Galactus is very unique.
Doctor Doom's another major villain they can do.
Huge. Masters of Evil. I want to see a team.
Masters of Evil.
That would be a great movie, just Masters of Evil. Like Baron Zemo putting together his team.
They ruined Baron Zemo already.
Well, they could fix him. He gets the mask and gets
Wasn't
the
that the
sword
sun?
Face.
that
They
they
could
had?
fix him.
Yeah.
Was that helmet that they... I can't remember. What name did they give him?
I
I
can't
don't
remember.
know.
It might have been the sun.
They could fix him easily.
Fix it.
Yeah, that would be cool. Street level type Masters of Evil battling, and instead of all this like space stuff. So there you go. It's a lot of stuff.
You're right. You can definitely needs to show.
Wrecking Crew for sure.
They can spin right out of that new Asgard. They can get enchanted weapons and they'll just start wreaking havoc. And
It's a perfect place for the Wrecking Crew.
Get kicked out by Valkyrie.
Uh-huh.
You can't be here anymore. So
Perfect. All right. Well, tell us what you think about the future. Leave some comments. We got a lot of good ideas. We'll see if they come true. Sometimes shit we say on here does happen. We've been known to make some prediction.
Yeah,
it's true.
We've been known to be horribly wrong, but we've also been known
never been wrong.
to make some predictions as
never
well,
wrong.
too.
We're always 100% correct.
So there you go. All right, Ken, take us out.
All right, everyone, please like, share, subscribe, invite, tell your friends, rate us on iTunes or your favorite podcasting app. Check us out at thekfpodcast.com. And have a good night.
Later.